guys, it's me, Yaya Diamond. What's up, people? You guys heard it from him from the mouth himself. It's his mouth saying he's here with me today. I want to welcome Roland Zimany to the show. Let me tell you something. He wrote a book, and I have the book right here. It's called Sermons with Insight. And let me tell you something. I'm ready to hear what he's got to say. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, I'm glad I have the opportunity.
I'm glad you got here. Oh, I am so happy that you're here. Thank you so much again. So, I absolutely love that people write books. I'm an absolute book like connoisseur. I like audiobooks. I like physical books. I love books. I think, and you have a book, and it's called Sermons with Insight. And I wanted to find out, first of all, why you wrote this book. What was it that prompted you to go ahead and write this book?
Well, you're asking a reasonable question, but it was a collection of sermons over a
Mm.
number of years. I preached sermons. Many of them were written out. I thought these are pretty good sermons. I got some comments from the congregation that endorsed the fact that they were pretty good sermons. So I thought, why not put them together in a collection of sermons? And
Mhm.
that's what it's called, Sermons with Insight. And it's just uh, a collection of sermons for different times of the church year. Um,
Mhm.
so um, that's what you get.
Wow. So the word insight in the title suggested like a deep spiritual insight or concept of preaching, and why is it essential for modern listeners today? I mean, what is it that we're going to get from this?
Each sermon will be different.
Hmm.
Readers would get, depending upon whether the sermon deals with something that they're interested in or involved with, they'll get some thoughts about how to deal with it or why it needs to be dealt with in a certain way. It's not something that I can generalize on because there
Right.
are lots of different sermons.
I gotcha. I gotcha. So these are your sermons, am I correct?
Oh yes.
Sweetness, sweetness. So what prompts you to do a sermon? What is it, an inspiration from what is going on in the world? Is it something that you figure your maybe your congregation is going through?
Oh well, what prompts me to do it is because I'm a pastor of a church and I've got to give a sermon every Sunday, and so what the sermon deals with is usually the assigned scripture readings for the Sunday, and
Okay.
in Lutherans you get three different choices for that.
Mm-hmm.
So I put together something that I think is appropriate uh, for my congregation at that particular time.
That's sweet. That's good. So there's like, because I'm not Lutheran, so I don't know. I mean, so you have an assigned sermon every Sunday that you have to do or you have to speak on. Is that kind of cool to actually have that? Do you get through the Bible? Do you get through the entire scriptures in one year? And I mean, is there something new every single time?
Yeah, so something new every single time. Um, the assignments don't get me through all of the scripture in a year, but
Mm.
that doesn't matter. We get through a lot, both as I said in Old Testament and New Testament categories.
I figured out that, preachers and pastors are very special people. Very special. They have a heart for their congregation. They have a heart for the people that come in, and literally their heart bleeds for them. Like they want them to be the best, to have the best in life. So are your sermons geared towards like maybe spiritual enlightenment, spiritual advancement, and people to maybe reach a different level of spirituality that they're not at today?
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. So tell me, like, what is it that you really want for your congregation that's in this book? That I know you can't generalize it, but there's got to be some kind of a connection between all of these sermons in your book. Like, where is it going for people?
No, I can't answer that way. I don't think it goes for people in the same way. Uh,
Mm,
Different people read the book. Uh, it apply, different sermons apply to them under their circumstances in life, and hopefully it it directs them at that particular time in those particular instances of their life. Um, maybe how to think about it or how to move in a better direction. but that's about all I could
I
say.
got
You know.
no, and I understand. I totally get it because like you varied it so good and so much that everybody can get something from it at varying points of their lives, of their circumstances. But what touched you the most? Which one of these sermons is your favorite that touched you the most?
I can't answer that. I,
Ah,
I don't know that I have a favorite sermon.
I gotcha. I gotcha. But they're all important. So tell me, like, what was your process by putting this together? Because how many years have you been doing this?
I can't say for sure how many years the sermons in the book cover. There was more
Hmm.
than 1 year. Let me throw out the number. It's 10 years. So
Wow.
over the time I was a minister at the church and
Hmm.
put together this book of what I considered the best sermons I had during that time period.
That is so cool. That is so that you saved these sermons and you wrote them down and you put them in the book
Yeah.
over a 10-year period. Do you know how much dedication that takes to actually do that? I mean, what was your process of choosing the best sermons? Was it because you wanted them to vary or you wanted them to interlap? I mean, what was the choice?
Well, I'm not sure that I was choosing the best ones. I was choosing the the one that applied to a particular time in the church year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if if I had maybe two or three for that particular time in the church year,
I gotcha.
I'd pick what I considered to be the best one.
Right, right. That is so cool. I mean, scriptures can be so helpful, guiding and loving and sending in peace and direction. What do you want people to come from this book? If they were to get this book today and read this book, what would you really want for them? What's the ultimate goal?
For them to benefit from the insights that they might get from the book.
Hmm.
Uh, and that would vary, from I want to say from chapter to chapter, specifically from sermon to sermon. Sometimes they would be useful sermons to them, other times it wouldn't be.
Hmm. Hmm. You know, how do you prepare that sermon? How did you prepare that sermon? Like, what did you do to put those sermons together when you were doing it at that time? Like, not now to put the book together, but like, okay, you're getting ready to preach, you're getting ready to do this. What was that process for you?
To look at the pieces of scripture, and I have a choice between Old Testament epistles and gospels. Um, to look at what was assigned for that particular Sunday, and then to decide which seemed to apply most directly to something going on in
Hmm.
the life of the congregation or the life of the world that would make the sermon appropriate to uh, those circumstances. And that's the one I would pick.
I think that is so cool that a lot of people they think, oh yeah, there's the prosperity gospel or it's this or it's that. But you didn't do that. What you did was you thought about the people in your congregation and you went for the best thing to uplift your congregation, to give them something in their time of need. That's just beautiful. I think that's more loving to me than anything anybody else can say. And I appreciate that. What kind of advice do you give to the youth, to the people today in this world that need the scriptures, that need these sermons? What would you say to them?
Well, say to them about the sermon.
No, about the book. I mean, what
Well,
would you say? Like something from like what would be the one thing that what kind of advice would you give them for life today? Like from one of your sermons or even from the book, what would be the essential thing that you could tell them today?
find in the book what applies to what's going on in the world today, and how the sermon would help to improve how people are behaving today.
Right. I got you. And what advice would you give to young pastors or seminary students who aspire to preach with both conviction and insight like you do?
take the scripture passages seriously, and then think seriously of how, realizing that they came from a distant time in the past, how they would, how at least one of them would apply to what's going on in the world today, and how it might make the world better if people did what the scripture passage sort of urged them to do.
Hmm. Yeah, I got you. I got you. Where can people find you? Where can people engage with you?
Well, I didn't quite understand your question.
So, like, where would people find you? Where would people find the book? To maybe purchase the book, or even like go and find the book. And do you have like a Facebook page or someplace where people can engage with you? Is it on Amazon, or is it on Barnes and Nobles? Is it online for purchase?
Oh, yes, it is. It is on those places.
Awesome, awesome. So we're going to put the link in the description box so that people can actually find it. That is a good thing. That is a good thing. I want to thank you so much, Roland, for being on the show. Also, you guys need to go ahead and check this out, because listen, the scriptures can be amazing and they can help you so very much. And I know that he has put his heart and soul into sermons with insight for you. And these sermons, they, like he said, they really can't be like nitpicked. You just got to do and read it and see which one applies to you at any given time. And I want to thank you, Mr. Zimany, for being in the show. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching.
Well, I'm glad you invited me.
I'm glad you're here. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hey, wherever this is, on the top, the sides, the bottom, we're going to put that information for him in his book so that you guys can go and check it out for yourselves. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to Dare to Be Different. Mr. Zimini, wait there. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with another show. Just go ahead and wherever you may be, click on that next show. Thank you. Thank you for watching.